right, ladies and gentlemen, we are filming here on Monday, October 13th. We did avoid having a Friday the 13th this October, so that's good. With all the spooky holiday ness. There was another word I was thinking of, but I can't think about it. I'm not going to take the time to think about it. But this is for Wednesday, October 15th here, as we are we are reaching the midway point of October already.
But this is going fast.
Right. And if you're watching on the video on YouTube, you really can't, they cut off my legs here, but this is probably going to be one of, if not the last show I wear shorts. Weather's going to be nice the first couple days, but we're looking into regular fall Ohio later this week, and things will take it to...
Put your leg up again, man. Our women out there want to see these hairy legs, man.
Legs, yes. There you go. But, I mean, that's expected to happen because high school football's wrapping up.
It's hard to believe that we're going into the 9th week of the high school football season.
Right.
The 9th week.
Right, we're in the middle of conference play for college. NFL's starting to shape up, and then NBA basketball will be next week. We'll have our tip-off show next week for that one, but just to let you know, it is around the corner. It is next week. The Cavaliers will start playing regular season basketball, so the weather eventually will take a dip to normal, chilly Ohio fall, but you know what? I don't mind that. It's the winter that I'm worried.
You know what? We've been doing the football games now. Well, the past 8 weeks.
Yeah.
This will be the 9th week coming up. We have yet to have any rain at a game. We always start the games in the 70s, or it's in 70s or 80s. It chills down at night a little bit, but we have not had a bad year yet during the football season. So I just think that's great.
Right, absolutely.
I know our producer over there, he runs the boards, and he sits over in the little corner probably, and he's freezing. I see him with his jacket on.
It's starting to dip out there now, but hey, before we got to finish up the intro. This is 10 Cent Beer at the official sports show of FifthDimensionRadio.com here in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, every Wednesday, 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and we have Bob with us today, as we normally do, and then I'm Seth, and then we have producer Bob in the back, doing his thing, and he's been working very hard getting these high school videos out there. You guys recently, you did end up doing the Revere Barberton game this past week. A little bit of a better showing for Barberton, you said, but Revere obviously kind of...
Well, Revere is, they're still in the running for a state playoff berth. I think it was 4th or 5th in the region, so... If they go all out, they probably can get a home field advantage in the first round. A bye in the first round of the state playoffs. State playoffs are going to be starting here in 2 weeks.
Right.
So.
And we're supposed to get a couple games in that. Am I correct? Or
We're
is that unofficial?
We're working. It's not official yet.
Okay.
You keep a look at our Fifth Dimension Facebook page. I am working on trying to get a game or two for the state playoffs. So. But as of right now, we'll have to wait and see.
Right, absolutely. Well, we got to concentrate on this weekend's game here, our second to last of the regular season schedule. And we are going back to Mogadore as St. Thomas Aquinas Knights will take on the Mogadore Wildcats. And this one, I'll be honest with you, on paper it looks like a lopsided battle. St. Thomas is 1-8 and Mogadore is 7-1.
And a lot of people didn't think Mogadore was going to be as good as they are this year.
Yeah, they say that every other year, and of course Mogadore does their Mogadore thing.
Because last year Mogadore finished 5-5 during at the end of the season, 5-5.
Right, so. There you go. Well, we did Mogadore shout-outs to their players back when they played Ellet. Okay, we're going to just do a brief one for St. Thomas Aquinas because there's not a lot up. This is a young team we have here for St. Thomas here. So you got your first senior here, no position mentioned, but Azer Lipkins is a senior for them. Junior outside linebacker and running back number 7, Devin Hollingsworth. And then you have junior guard and center number 58, Fernando Cruz. You have junior offensive and defensive tackle number 62, Gannon Mitchell. You have junior wide receiver and strong safety number 15, Jameer Jenkins. Junior wide receiver outside linebacker Caden Bauman, number 2 there. Junior offensive and defensive tackle, number 56, Kenyon Jeter. You have junior. They got a lot more juniors than they do have seniors. Free safety, wide receiver, number 32, Riley Lehman. Junior defensive end, tight end, number 1, Travion Elliott, I think it is. Excuse me.
Elliott.
Junior, number 8, Tayshawn Dixon. And that is it. Like, they have one senior, Bob. So this is a younger team.
Yeah, young team.
They lost last week to Richmond Heights Spartans 7-28. Pulling up Mogadors here.
Mogador beat, I think, Putnam Valley. No, Collinwood. They beat Collinwood,
yeah,
40-something to nothing.
Yeah,
like
it's like 42 to
Cleveland
nothing. I don't have it
Collinwood
in front of me here, but that's what we have going on this weekend here at Fifth Dimension Radio for our high school game of the week there. Pre-game 6:45, right?
6:45, kickoffs at 7.
Kickoffs at 7 there at Mogador, and it's going to be probably a packed house there. It might be, don't quote me, because I don't know Mogador's schedule by heart, and I didn't bother looking it up, honestly. But it might be senior night there, too. So it's probably going to be a packed house. They have a good crowd either way.
No, it could be a senior night, but they are home next week, too.
Oh, okay, then if they're home, that'll be the senior night then. Yeah, that's going to be your senior night there. But, you know...
Before the play, right now they're sitting number 1 in their region, so if they make... Well, they will make... They're going to make the playoffs. They will have a bye in the first round. So...
There you go. So we wish everybody a healthy, safe, good, fair called football game there in Mogador. And you can tune on fifthdimensionradio.com. Tune in.
Get out and support your local high school teams. Get out there and support them. Wherever you live, you got a local high school team. Go out and see a game. These kids work hard. Go out and support them.
Yeah. Well, my brother just moved to Massillon, so it might be hard to get a seat out there.
Yeah. Yeah, he can get a seat out there. All he's got to do is, rub elbows and get in the clique.
I'm sure he's not worried about it.
Everybody knows that I'm not a Massillon fan. I'll come right out and tell you. So
there you go. But again, St. Thomas Aquinas Knights at Mogador Wildcats this weekend for Fifth Dimension.
I know they got a beautiful campus out there. On 62, out there in 62.
St. Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Louisville area is a nice little town. I had family almost move out.
And we were talking about that a little bit ago. It's in Louisville with an Alliance address.
Right.
Off air, we were talking about.
Right. And Alliance is a nice area too. So that's for people that don't know. That's a little bit east of Canton there. It's a whole different area. It's away from Portage County. It's east of Portage and Stark County there. Right. It almost seems like the middle of nowhere, but they do have stuff going on over there, and
it's a nice area.
Right.
Nice.
Right. Again, I have
it's beautiful camp. They have a beautiful school, beautiful campus out there.
Right. Absolutely. So, shifting gears here a little bit. The baseball, just a playoff update here. Since our last 10-cent beer night, Seattle Mariners had a walk-off win last Friday night, taken to the ALCS. Their first walk-off playoff win since 1995 when they went on to go play the Cleveland Indians and then lose. So they went on to play the Toronto Blue Jays. As we sit, because I know we're recording on Monday, mind you, so some things have changed since then. I should say Monday afternoon specifically. Seattle's up 1-0 against the series with Toronto Blue Jays. Blue Jays put away the Yankees like it was nothing. And then Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s famous line, the New York Yankees lost, saying that while he was celebrating there, just to emphasize they're done. They're gone. They were the ones that put him away there. So this is the first time a Mark Shapiro team has been in the ALCS since 2016 when he went up against the Cleveland Indians and lost.
Yeah.
And this is his third team to go. Of course, he was the former GM of the Cleveland Indians, and 2007 he had that Cleveland team go up against Terry Francona and the Boston Red Sox, and we all know how that ends there. So, could this be potentially the first Mark Shapiro team to make the World Series. And I get it. In 2016, he had his fingerprints on that Tribe team too at the time, but he did leave and did set up a new foundation and a new team with Toronto and built that team, and now they're back into that situation there. First I should say back after 9 years. Hard to believe, but that was 9 years ago. On the other side of things, Los Angeles Dodgers did beat the Phillies in 4 games, and I mean they owned them. I was shocked how much they ran through Philly, the way they played. They played them very well. They went on to the NLCS, and then it was Saturday night. The Brewers defeated the Cubs in Game 5 of the NLDS, and they advanced. So Dodgers will be at Milwaukee tonight for Game 1. By the time you hear this, I think they'll be on Game 2.
They should be going on Game 3. I think they play tonight, Monday, Tuesday.
They play Monday, not Wednesday. So by the time they hear this, Game 2 will be done. And then Game 4. No, I'm right. Game 3 of the ALCS will be happening after this show on Wednesday there. So I can speak for you, Bob, when we said we saw the Dodgers as an NLCS threat. The other 3 teams, I didn't think were going to be as good. I was sold on the Blue Jays last year. They didn't get done, so I thought they were going the wrong direction. I knew Seattle was a young budding team, but I did not have neither Seattle or Milwaukee making it this far. So it's going to be, and of course Milwaukee was the top team in the league this year.
Yeah, I'm tell you the truth, with the teams that are left, I'm rooting for Seattle.
You're rooting for Seattle here. Do you think it will be Seattle? Do you think Seattle's going to win the?
I'm hoping. I mean, I don't. Toronto's, I think, better team on paper.
Right.
But Seattle's never won a World Series.
No, I don't know if they've ever been to one.
They've never been to one.
They've never been to one.
They'd be their first one. They've been to the championship series.
Yeah.
But they've never been to a World Series. So.
Right. Both teams very similar. You got a lot of power bats. Of course, Cal Riley on Seattle. You have Julio Rodriguez. There's a couple other guys there with a lot of power. And then Josh Naylor, of course, who's been stealing bases like crazy in the playoffs. Toronto, you got Vladimir Guerrero Jr. That's the hot name there. But you got a couple guys. You got a couple role player guys, similar style to what Terry Francona had in Cleveland. When you had your Brandon Geyers and your Ray Raybirds. Guys that weren't flashy, but when you put them in the game, they did their job. And Toronto's got a lot of that too. Both teams solid pitching, but they got some guys that could give up a good amount of runs on any given night too. Of course. I
think Seattle, Tampa. Toronto has a better pitching core than Seattle's got.
Right.
So I'm gonna root for Seattle. They've never been there, so.
Right. And it's not for both these teams too. They could be back into it next year. I mean, this is not a team. This is not teams that are like having a bunch of expiring contracts. They're renting them out just to see what they could get out of this current team. These are teams with young guys locked into long-term contracts. And of course, Toronto in the mix. They're added 2020 AL Cy Young winner Shane Bieber, who's been pitching overall very well for them since he's joined.
He was 5-1 or 5-2,
something like that. Yeah, at the regular season.
Since he was able to come back and pitch.
Right, and they weren't sure if he was going to come back and pitch. Remember, there was a minute there they thought they're investing in doing more for next year, but he was able to.
He came in and did a job.
Get called up, yeah, and start pitching well.
Cleveland, you passed the buck too soon.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. A report you brought up Cleveland. A report from MLB Trade Rumors came in, and that's a legit site too. It's not just rumors; they actually report regular news. But I guess guards are looking to upgrade outfield position, which did surprise me.
They need to go get a bat.
Right.
Get somebody with a bat.
It surprised me because, we were talking at our conclusion of the season after they lost to Detroit about the young guys coming up. And I'll be honest, this is me personally. On paper, going into the season, I said, they need outfield help bad. This is bad. I think they're at the point they're almost loaded now in the conversation because along with Quan, you have De Lauder who be your opening day center fielder. Kifus can play outfield or first base. If Valera keeps producing the way he was, you have him in the mix. Alfonso's, not I almost said Soriano, no, but because I think of Alfonso Soriano when I'm trying to say his name. Alfonso Rosario. That's the guy to watch out for mid next year. He's not going to be ready by opening day, but I do see them moving on from Lane Thomas. I do see them moving on from Christmas, just because I think we've seen the best out of those guys. On top of that, you do have also David Fry who can play outfield and catcher. And they also got another year out of another prospect. There was some technical rule where they were able to retain him before he was out of options or something that was just released. And I could probably pull it up here in a sec. But my point being is the outfield is starting to shape up way better than it was 6 months ago. And now they're saying that they're going to seek an upgrade somewhere. And let me see, I can pull this up here. Let's see, 28 runs per game. So that they're looking at some there. They could move on from Nolan Jones and Angel Martinez too. They've brought up ideas for not Cleveland, but the article brings up ideas for a free agent. Harrison Bader, who I said they should have got last year. I said they should have. I mean, he was sitting there in free agency forever.
Did you see that thing I sent you about Jose?
Yeah, I believe so. Refresh my memory.
But he was a little disappointed because he took a pay cut to stay in Cleveland. Thought he was going to spend the money on getting good players.
Oh, so he's voiced his opinion.
He's voiced his opinion.
Well, it gets interesting, Bob. You bring that up because last week, randomly and I mean it was random, it was unexpected. Plain Dealer took a whole page ad out of their own paper and called out Paul Dolan. It showed the stadium, and it said Jose Ramirez is the best Cleveland player in franchise history, and you're wasting his talent not spending money. They said spend money or sell the team. Plain Dealer demanded.
I guess Jose says, I signed this long-term deal for less money than I would have got somewhere else, hoping for you guys to spend the money to build a team here.
Right.
If Jose's coming out saying that,
right.
We didn't lose him because he wants to be here and he wants to be a winner.
Right.
He could have went elsewhere and probably doubled what we're paying.
Oh,
him.
easy.
$300
million at least. And remember that contract talks started because they left spring training without a deal, and they thought, okay, he's not going to sign here, and they almost sent him to San Diego. There was a trade on the table they liked, and Jose heard it, and he told his agent, let's get this done because I want to stay here. Which great for by the guy they got an extra option for. That's what it was. They were granted a 4th-year option for Juan Brito, second, third, and base and shortstop. This is a prospect that could be on their 24-man roster going into the spring there. So, but baseball, we're down to 4 teams. It'll be interesting, and by this time next week, we could be down to a World Series matchup. But we'll see. There's a chance it could be a little longer than that. So we'll see. We got to take a break. When we come back, a lot happened in college football, including a top program fired their coach on Sunday afternoon. We will talk about that and more. Stay tuned. Welcome back to 10 Cent Beer and I, our second segment in this mid-October special here. Getting very pumped for basketball and all that. And speaking of basketball, there was 2 things that came up. One, I know last week we teased LeBron's second decision. Well, it was, and I wondered about this after I said it. It was a new sponsor. It was nothing serious, and that's why.
Trouble is, he goes after a sponsor that nobody knows. He should have got Ripple.
He got Hennessy. There are a lot of people that know Hennessy there.
I don't know Hennessy. I know Jack.
Do you know Jim?
Jim. Johnny.
You know.
But I don't know no Hennessy.
Yeah, there you go. So it wasn't serious, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Now on
It was a joke.
a more serious, fun note here, just as we were on break, they released the top 25 for college basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Where's
did.
our Buckeyes?
Our Buckeyes did not make the cut, but they did get 35 votes. 23 votes, excuse me. Your top, I'm not going to mention everybody, but your top 10. I'll do the top 10. Number 1, Purdue. I mean, they've been legit the past few years. Number 2, Houston. Great team that throughout the tournament last year. I'm trying to go by memory here. Who won the championship last year?
I'll tell you the truth, I forgot.
Let's see.
It wasn't Houston.
Because, no, Houston played it, though.
Was it Arizona?
It was Florida.
Florida won?
Yeah, they beat Houston. That's right. So, yeah, Florida. Florida's number 3, by the way. That's what kind of got me thinking about it. I was like, okay, I knew that they was there somewhere. Number 4, UConn. Number 5, here's an interesting one, Bob. St. John's got number 5. Well, of course, because of Rick Pitino out there now, and they're playing much better. But I don't remember the last time I've seen St. John's be that high. Number 6, Duke. Number 7, the team up north. Number 8, BYU. Number 9, Kentucky. And number 10, Texas Tech there. So, no MAC teams. Big Ten teams.
Of course there ain't going to be no Max team.
I had to just throw that out to see your reaction here.
You know, there ain't going to be no MAC team because the NCAA don't give a crap about the MAC.
Yeah. We'll get number 22 later in the year or something like that there. But your Big Ten teams outside of Purdue and the team up north, UCLA is number 12. Okay. Illinois is number 17. And Michigan State's number 22, and Wisconsin is number 24. Guy to watch out for this year, and we're playing flavor test. Darren Patterson there, of Kansas, kid out of Cuyahoga Falls, where the station's based out of. And they're saying after the past NBA draft, they were making their early picks for 2026. He was favored to be first overall pick. So could we have another Northeast Ohio kid be first overall pick? We'll find out. But he plays for Kansas. They're number 19 to start the season there. So Ohio State, like I said, they got votes but didn't make it. Iowa got votes but didn't make it in the top. And again, this is Indiana also got votes and didn't make the top 25. But
anybody in the Mid-American Conference getting votes?
I don't know. You know that didn't happen. But again, the season hasn't started yet. Things are going to get shuffled anyway. You know how this works out in men's basketball. But it's cool to finally see the first rankings for college basketball there. So turning our focus on to college football, top 25 teams, upsets and losses here that happened this past week for college football. This was actually a solid upset here. I think it was overlooked because of how strong Florida State started this year. But unranked Pitt beats number 25 Florida State 34-31. Florida State's pretty much, you can write them off as far as the playoff goes, I think, at this point. Pitt improves to 4-2 there. Number 8 Bama did beat number 14 Missouri 27-24. This was another big upset. I did not think this was. I knew the game was going to be close. I did not think that it was going to be as bad as it was. But unranked Texas beat number 6 Oklahoma 23-6. So Texas might move up in the rankings.
That's a rivalry game. Texas-Oklahoma's always been a rivalry game.
But Texas dropped out of the top 25 after their second loss. And now, right now with 2 losses, you're still in the conversation for the playoffs. So they're probably going to go up now. I'll give you the updated rankings here in a little bit. But Oklahoma will drop a bit, but Oklahoma only drops. I mean, they're 5-1, so it's not the end of the world for Oklahoma right now. But I thought Oklahoma was going to win that game. Number 22 Iowa State lost to Colorado 24-17, so Coach Prime gets a good win there. However, Colorado, you know how hyped they are, Bob. They're 3-4, and Iowa State is now 5-2 there. So number 7 Indiana upsets number 3 Oregon. 30-20. So Indiana moves into the ranks of not just the Big Ten, but the NCAA, and Oregon's going to fall. They're 5-1. Indiana 6-0. So Big Ten really making a lot of noise in the NCAA, including this team probably went up a couple spots there because they were unranked. But USC improves to 5-1 after beating number 15 Team Up North 31-13, and the Team Up North is now 4-2. So, and then the last ranked team to lose this past weekend, number 21 Arizona State, got beat up by Utah 42-10. Utah improves to 5-1, and Arizona State goes down to 4-2 there. So,
and did you say the Penn State one?
I did not, because that was against that. I only announced the ranked teams there, Bob. I didn't even get to the unranked there. But we are shifting gears to our Big Ten results of the week. So here they were last Friday. Washington beat up Rutgers 38-19. Washington is 5-1. Your Ohio State Buckeyes won 34-16 against Illinois to prove to 6-0, playing very well. UCLA wins back-to-back games after upsetting Michigan State 38-13. UCLA is 2-4. Michigan State's 3-3 now. Nebraska beat Maryland 34-31 in a very close battle. Nebraska is now 5-1. This is the one Bob is talking about. Northwestern beats Penn State 22-21. Northwestern improves to 4-2. Penn State goes down to 3-3, and then fired Coach Franklin Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, you gotta blame somebody.
Yeah, so James Franklin, it was fired Sunday. It was during halftime. I was watching the Browns-Steelers game, and CBS announced it right there that he was gone. So there will be a coach change. Unfortunately, best wishes to Drew Ilar, the quarterback for Penn State, hit out of Medina. He is out for the season, suffered a serious foot injury in that game. And so his draft stock's going to drop drastically. He'll probably be a day 3 pick if he goes into the draft. But, I mean, here's the good news for if you're somebody like Drew Ilar. It's like, okay, what's going to happen to him then? You get on somebody like the Eagles or the Bengals, that's going to have you sit behind somebody and a system you fit. You give yourself a chance at a solid career, But I would have him sit behind somebody. Because here's the thing I will say about him. He's got a good arm. He really, really does. There were some things about his game he needed to improve in order to stay in that first-round conversation. We honestly did not, I don't feel, saw that here. But now with the injury, it's going to drop his draft stock drastically, but there are a lot of good things to like about his game. But again, if he's going to see any kind of success, he's got to sit and watch and hold a clipboard and watch somebody for a while. That's why I brought the Bengals, because it's an Ohio kid, and he would be better in a pocket system where Joe Burrow is. I know Joe Burrow's a long-term answer there. But to sit behind him, for 4+ years, could really, really set himself up for a solid career. Look at what the Packers did with Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love. I mean, it's a prime example. I get those guys were first-round picks, but it's you get somebody to sit there. I mean, he has played in a big program, big competition, so this is a guy that has played at a high level in the collegiate game. But we've also seen this before where the Bengals or somebody brought in somebody from Alabama or something, it didn't work out. But Ilar's been viewed as a different quarterback in this situation, so we just wish him the best there. I mentioned the Indiana win here. Iowa shut out Wisconsin 37-0. And then I mentioned Team Up North lost. Minnesota beat Purdue 27-20 in Minnesota. Minnesota proves to 4-2. So this weekend's games for the Big Ten, starting Friday, October 17th, 8 p.m. on Fox. Number 25, Nebraska, will be at Minnesota. So Nebraska moved up to the top 25 there. Noon on Fox, Washington at Team Up North. It will be in Ann Arbor, predicted to have some rain. Michigan is predicted 5.5 point favorites there. For the Nebraska game, Nebraska 7.5 favorites there.
7.5.
7.5. I don't gamble. I'm sorry.
I don't either. Yeah. I'll bet you.
3:30 p.m. Oh, it's been on my phone after you said that. 3:30 p.m. on CBS and Paramount Plus. Number 1 Ohio State at unranked Wisconsin. And Ohio State is 27.5 favorites there. 3 p.m. on Big Ten Network, Purdue at Northwestern. Northwestern is 3-point favorites there. Northwestern started to take a better look in the Big Ten here. People taking them more seriously now. 3:30 p.m. on Peacock, Michigan State at number 3, Indiana. So Indiana moved up to
Indiana number 3.
Yeah, well, they beat number 3 last week, so they moved up.
I'm gonna tell you what, Indiana always gives the Buckeyes a hard time.
It's going to be something to look out for.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's a couple weeks.
26.5-point favorites is Indiana there. 6:30 p.m. on Big Ten Network, number 8 Oregon. So they switched basically, Indiana and Oregon. Indiana was 7, but still. Will be at Rutgers, and Oregon is 17.5-point favorites there. 7 p.m. on Fox Sports 1, Maryland at UCLA. UCLA 3-point favorites with their 2-game win streak at home. Now all of a sudden UCLA's taking a turn. 7 p.m. on Peacock. We have 2 unranked teams that people thought were going to be bigger threats this year and just aren't. Penn State at Iowa. Iowa are 3.5 favorites at home. If I would have told you that 4 weeks ago, would you believe me?
No.
No.
It would have been Penn State by 20.
You're right. 7:30 p.m. on NBC. This is going to be a good one. Number 20 USC at number 13 Notre Dame. And Notre Dame is 7.5-point favorites there. So, non-conference matchup, probably the last for USC unless they make the playoff. And they could. They're gaining rankings there. So, we'll see about that. But yeah, this is the rankings here. Ohio State, Miami, Indiana jumped from 7 to 3. Okay. Oh my gosh, why did that do that? It kicked me out there.
7 to 3.
Yeah, there you go. Number 5 is Texas A&M. 4, excuse me. They went from 4. They moved up 1. Ole Miss moved up down 1. Alabama goes from 8 to 6. Texas Tech goes from 9 to 7. Of course, Oregon dropped from 3 to 8. And the rest you pretty much know. There was a big. I mean, Oklahoma did drop to 14. So there is that one. A couple of them moved. South Florida moved up from 24 to 19. USC was ranked 31st, unranked, now 20. Texas was 27th, now 21, and back in the top 25 now. And Nebraska moved from 30 to 25. Cincinnati was unranked 2 last week, and they're 24. Utah was unranked, and they're now 23. So you got a whole almost new list now. And a shout out to BYU in the middle of it. They're 15th in the nation now. That's a team nobody's talking about. So that's it's getting interesting. It's getting a lot of fun here in the top 25, and it's going to be an interesting playoff right now. But we just need Ohio State to keep doing what they're doing. They're playing well.
You still got another 6 weeks of college football.
Yeah, anything could happen, and that's my point. Anything could happen there. For the MAC this past week.
Oh.
All right.
You ain't gonna talk about that, are you?
Yeah. Miami of Ohio beat Akron 20-7. Moorhead fuming in the postgame, absolutely livid. Said that we had a chance to be a top MAC program, and we blew every chance we had. So he's not happy.
It's gotta be coach.
Right.
You know me. We talked about this. I think it's time for a change. Period.
We'll see how.
We need a change.
There's 6 weeks left. There's a couple games. I think Akron are very heavily favored, believe it or not, especially the last home games there. But so we'll have to see, because if Akron walks away 6, let's say they win 4 out of the last 6. Okay, there's even more improvement from the past couple of years, even last year. Then I would say let's see what he brings next year. But I'm noticing a pattern though with the quarterback Ben Finley. He drove the ball to the red zone and threw an interception in the end zone to start the game. When he doesn't turn over the ball, it gets in rhythm. He's red hot. When he turns over the ball, it gets in his head. I don't know, because you look at the game before when they beat Central Michigan.
We have seen it's the same way with the. He throws too many interceptions in the end zone, and their guys are wide open.
Right. Other guys, not the guys who throws.
Like the Wyoming game, he threw that ball. It was like the Wyoming guy was a zip.
Right
at him.
Right to the defense there.
But
And
I just think we need a change. First of all, what upset with me with Moorhead, and a nice coach. I mean, is the academic part of it.
That was a bad look.
You know, that you can win 6 games, become bowl eligible, and we can't go to the bowl.
Right.
We cannot go to the MAC championship game if we were up there for the championship game because of the fact the MAC championship game is the Motor City Bowl.
Right.
So we're bowl ineligible.
Right. Even if they win the 6 games I mentioned.
Nobody kept track of those
academic
averages.
Right.
You know, and that's the coaches doing. I coach high school. You know, I get a semester report on my students. If they ain't 1.5, they're done for the season.
For that school.
For that school. Now some schools are 2.0s. Where I coach at, it's 1.5. But if you ain't at 1.5, I have to release you.
I got some breaking news, Bob, real quick. Tennessee Titans just fired Brian Callahan, their head coach, after a 1-5 start. So they're going to be officially looking for a new coach. This guy didn't even coach 2 years there. So, son of Bill Callahan, former Cleveland Browns offensive line coach. So, there you go.
Well,
that's I did not expect that. Like, I knew maybe at the end of the year potentially, but to just up and fire, you know. And I had them winning yesterday, Bob, and they didn't win. So, but yeah, I think my problem with Moorhead here is it'll be a final thought, and then we'll have to carry to our MAC stuff till the next segment here. But I've said, you've heard me say it before, I'll say it again because it goes with our pro team too we like. If you're brought in because you're a specialist at a certain part of the ball and they're not playing well on that part of the ball, something is wrong. Moorhead is an offensive guru. The defense is great for this. It ain't bad at all.
I think our defense is playing great.
Right. But the offense is inconsistent. There are games they've played well this year. But, you know, and you were bringing up the Wyoming game. What set the red zone up there was running the ball. They had Grant, who won top running back in the NCAA, not this past week, in the weekend before. Finley's got some decent wheels. And I'm not saying quarterbacks sneak it all the time like you were doing a couple years ago, but it's like if something's working like it was in that drive, keep it going until it doesn't work. And like when I was saying the run game was working, I'm talking about like they were averaging 7 yards a carry, and then he decides to throw it and it goes interception. So,
well, I told you, we were sitting there at the game the other day, and I said, "Watch, he's going to run the first ball, second one he's coming out throwing." How many times did he do that? That I kept telling you that's what he's going to do. Right. They knew he was going to come out passing.
Right. You're right. I mean, he's called that, and they did that like the entire game.
I seen it.
No joke. So if Bob can, and I'm not knocking you, Bob, but you're not a college player or a college coach. If you can figure that out, you know they're definitely figured that out, you know. So they got to change that up there. So we got to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the MAC. We'll talk about the NFL too, and things coming up because things are getting crazy now that another coach has been fired. So we'll see that and more. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back to our last day at 10 Cent Beer right here at FifthDimensionRadio.com. I'm Seth.
I'm Bob.
And we quickly got to finish up our MAC football talk. We were in the middle of that, and then didn't get to finish that part of the segment there. So the other scores: Bowling Green was down 21-0 to Toledo. Ended up winning 28-23 at Bowling Green. There, that's a good rival matchup there out in the MAC. Both teams are now 3-3. Northern Illinois lost to Eastern Michigan 16-10. Northern Illinois is 1-5. Eastern Michigan's 2-5. Kent State wins their second game of the season, beating UMass 42-6. And UMass is the worst team in the MAC at 0-6. And then Western Michigan beat Ball State 42-0. Western Michigan improves to 4-3. So your games this week in the Mid-American Conference: noon on CBS Sports Network, Central Michigan at Bowling Green, and Bowling Green are 5.5-point favorites. Noon on ESPN Plus, Eastern Michigan at Miami of Ohio, and Miami of Ohio is 13.5 favorites. 2 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Kent State at Toledo. Toledo are 25.5-point favorites.
No, you see what Toledo did to Akron.
Yeah. I think Toledo's going to roll on that one. 2:30 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Buffalo at UMass, and Buffalo is 16.5-point favorites. 3:30 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Northern Illinois at Ohio U, going down to Athens there, and the Bobcats are 11.5-point favorites. 3:30 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Akron at Ball State. Ball State is 1.5-point favorite. So if Akron can get it together, that's a potential win there on the road.
That's if.
If I know
it's big.
I know. If.
There ain't nobody bigger as a Zip fan than me, but I just, over the years you keep losing. You keep.
Being a Zip fan, I was telling people at the game, it's like watching the Browns from the Eric Mangini, the Pat Shurmur, the Rob Trinsinski, and the Mike Pennon era. It's almost exactly like watching the same thing. Like you hope things turn around real quick, and then it's just watching a 3-4 defense play decent, and the offense just inconsistently moving the ball. That's the summary of those eras of Cleveland Browns football.
Like I said, it's
bad.
It's bad. You're right.
It's bad. We're gonna switch to NFL. Okay. We got a new teleprompter, so we're reading that. I'd rather not use that. That will confuse me. So there you go. He's playing with some producers, playing with new toys, messing with their head. Soon he'll replace us.
I'll read it. Put it up there.
Soon he'll replace us.
Let me get my glasses here.
With AI, and then you'll have AI Seth and AI Bob, and he'll just.
Well, eventually we ain't gonna even be. We won't even have to be here.
Right.
They'll put two people here, me and you, and
two robots here. There you go. While we're switching to NFL, reminder, since we're filming on Monday afternoon, we don't know the results of the Buffalo-Atlanta game or the Chicago-Washington game yet. I think we both picked Buffalo for that one, and then I picked Chicago.
You picked Chicago, and I had Washington.
You had Washington there, so that's we'll see how those pan
Well, you
out.
might as well just give me the wins now. So.
Right. Speaking of wins, what is that? What is a win, Bob?
It's something that we don't know much about.
We knew one time.
If you're a Cleveland fan, you don't know much about it.
I'm sick and tired already of this team. I am, it's the same story going into Pittsburgh as it always is. I know Steelers fans will laugh, but we have to be honest here. The game gets close to halftime, and then third quarter, they give up a certain drive, which opens it up for Pittsburgh and eventually seals the game. Our quarterback played okay. Not bad. I'll give him, if it was a grade, I would give him a C-. Because he didn't turn over the ball.
He did okay. We dropped too many passes.
Well, there was that, but he also had this guy's known for his accuracy. There was some bad throws, too. And
yeah.
Here's the issue I have, especially with the shorter quarterback. The height of the quarterback doesn't matter to me personally, as long as you can get done. And here's why. Drew Brees, one of the best quarterbacks we've seen in my generation. He'll be in the Hall of Fame soon. If not, I don't remember if it's next year or the year after, but he will be a first ballot Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you got to wait 5 years. How long it's been?
Yeah, I think he's due. I think it's this coming year. I would have to check who's. I did see the nominations. I don't remember if he was on there, but he will be first ballot. Okay. What made him so unique is, he had power and accuracy even with his height. But what made it work was he would throw it in certain areas to the receiver that kept the defender away from trying to get the ball, but also kept the receiver safe. So, if the defender was, over here, for example, and the receiver was running a certain route, he knew if I threw it high or medium, the defender could either cut it off or hit him high or hit him there. So he would throw it low. You get it there. You could do a spin move or something, but you put yourself in a position to take a hit if you need. But also you put yourself in a position that you are the best chance to get the ball. He did it also with high passes, but it depended on the situation. This guy is throwing these balls so high, they're coming down and they're getting hit really hard. And they're going to take hits. But when you have Njoku taking like unnecessary high passes, and of course Njoku's going to try to make the catch because that's who he is, and then he gets slammed because you threw it too high in front of two defenders, so they're crisscrossing and hitting him in the ribs, and then he's banged up. Mind you, he gets so banged up, he's limping, but he's trying to fight it off. We're down to the point we're about to lose the game, and Stefanski puts him back out there. What are you doing? And so Gabriel, again, he didn't turn over the ball. I'll give him credit there.
And it's another program that needs completely overhauled.
And I think we're going to see the change.
We're going to see a change in this season. We'll see a change.
Yeah.
I have a funny feeling you're going to see a lot of coaches gone.
Right. And we saw one today with Tennessee.
I've listened to a lot of sports talk shows, and a couple of local here. There's one gentleman, and I'm not going to name any name, but you know who it is. Played in the NFL, played for the Browns, and he thinks his major gripe is with the general manager of Cleveland.
Right.
He's not a big Andrew Berry fan. He thinks Andrew don't know how to pick in the draft. They're not getting good draft choices, and personally I think the same thing.
I think Berry, I overall like him for some things and some things not. The draft, he will hit on certain picks and he'll miss on others. I'm fine. One of the things I liked about John Dorsey, who Berry replaced, Dorsey, not just in Cleveland but Kansas City too. He knew to find the playmaker in the star quarterback. Okay, so he knew the flashy players. Like he picked Denzel Ward, he picked Nick Chubb, he picked Baker Mayfield, he picked Pat Mahomes, he picked Travis Kelce, he picked Tyreek Hill. He looked at guys and said, and Kareem Hunt too in his prime. He said, this guy is going to make an impact right on the field. But the one thing we're seeing from Berry that we all saw with Dorsey, they can't draft O-line to save their life. And that's bad. You got to protect your quarterback. And Dorsey had this problem even in Green, because he worked under in Green Bay for a while. They could not pick O-line properly. Like it was they just could not protect the quarterback the way they should. Well, and you got to hit them on all.
And it's just in Cleveland. All the other teams, the first number one overall pick, it's usually a quarterback, a running back.
Right.
Those guys are nothing unless you got a front line.
Right.
Your number one pick should be an offensive lineman. Personally, in my opinion.
Well, it's funny you mention that because Dorsey had the number one overall pick twice. All right. One was Baker Mayfield, who right now is in the MVP talks.
Right. Oh, yeah. Okay. He's having a hell of a year.
The other one, Bob, we are always talking Mac. Eric Fisher, Central Michigan, offensive tackle. The first MAC player to ever be selected number one overall. And he was a bust. That whole draft was weak. But he didn't pan out. The next guy that the Eagles picked, Lane? I almost want to say Thomas, but that was, no. I'm going by memory here. But it may have been the Jaguars, not the Eagles. One of them. But they were a Hall of Fame type player. But Fisher did not pan out. So, again, even with the first overall pick, he had a Hall of Fame like offensive lineman there. And he picked the one guy he should not have picked. And so, like...
Well, you need to go after... Like I said, you're off... Of course, defense wins games, okay? I mean, it's a proven fact. But you got to protect that quarterback. And the first thing you got to do is you got to build an offensive line that's going to protect the quarterback, the running back, those guys in the backfield.
Right. Luke Joeckel was the second overall pick. He panned out. Lane Johnson was the fourth overall, though, and he was the Hall of Fame pick in that draft. So I just want to pull that up. But that whole draft, I mean, that draft in general, not the first round, the whole draft was very weak. I mean, you couldn't properly build a new team with that draft. We'll put it that way. It was bad. It was.
Yeah, the guy you said, the guy Hall of Fame.
Well, there was one. Yeah, and DeAndre Hopkins was in there. Russell Wilson was. So there was good players, but Bob, I'm talking about there wasn't even good role players. There wasn't like there wasn't just solid team captains, or it was a bad draft for anybody. Yeah, it was just bad. They're calling that possibly the worst draft of all time, but. Here's the bottom line. Okay, Cleveland played bad. Okay, defense overall was pretty good. They did give up a little more than I wanted them to, but it is what it is. Offense couldn't stay on the field as they should have. I do think things could have been better. A lot of penalties. Refs robbed them a couple times too. There were some bad calls there. like the one player broke out from forward progress, was about to get a touchdown for the Browns, a long one. They said no, we stopped it there for player safety. I had friends at the game. They said there were Steelers fans there, and they said they should have let him play. That was a bad call. Even if it was going to be a touchdown, they should have let him play. That
And you said Steeler fans said they should let him
Steeler
play?
fans were saying, because that was going to be a because it was going. He was trying to get first down, but he broke the 2 tackles. He was going to go to the end zone. He was like for a 50-yard touchdown, the rookie, and they said no. We blew the whistle, dead. The play, and he wasn't down. He was still fighting the players, and he was gave the rest of the look like, how are you going to stop that? And he said there were Steelers fans there around them that said that was a bad call. They said they robbed Cleveland there. That they should not have called that. And then the running into the punter. The blocker pulled him into the punter. I mean, if you,
I didn't watch the game. So.
Gene Statator of CBS, who reviews all that stuff, said, "Yeah." He goes, "Look at this again. He doesn't get away from the blocker." He said the blocker led him into the punter. That should have been a no call. So here's the bottom line. What I found embarrassing after the game, fans were commenting, "This is what Kevin Stefanski's going to say. This is what Stefanski's going to say." You know, all this. They called it line for line because it's the same script every time he loses. We got to do better. This is on me. But the fans call it word for word. That's when you know you're in trouble, when you're running out of things to say. And every time a Cleveland coach got in that situation, they were gone. So
I see him going. I see the whole coaching staff going.
Yes. We got to make our picks, Bob. We only got 5 minutes here. So
let's go
week
quick.
7. Mind you, we don't know the results of the Monday night games today. Your bye week for this coming week, the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. And Ravens need a bye week. We talk about the Browns being bad. Oh, my gosh. This was...
Oh, yeah, we're tied with them for last place.
There you go.
Of course, they got the upper because they beat us.
Thursday, October 16th, 8:15 p.m. on Amazon Network, the Pittsburgh Steelers, top AFC North team, will go against Joe Flacco. That did happen since our last 10-cent beer night in the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati. Flacco played well. Unfortunately, Bengals lost that last game. Pittsburgh, 5.5 favorites. Bob, what do you think?
Where's this game at?
It's in Cincinnati. Flacco versus Rodgers.
I'm going to still go with Pittsburgh.
He's going to go with Pittsburgh.
I think they're on a roll.
Give me Pittsburgh by an edge. I think Zach Taylor's in the hot seat with the Bengals. It's just their defense is. Flacco wasn't a quarterback upgrade, but their defense isn't playing up to par either. Give me Pittsburgh, 24-20. I think it'll be a fun game. It'll be a close game, but give me Pittsburgh there. 9:30 a.m. in London, NFL Network. Los Angeles Rams coming off a win versus the Baltimore Ravens against the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're coming off a loss against the Seattle Seahawks. Rams are 3-point favorites. Bob, what do you think?
I'll go with the Rams.
I'm going with the Rams too. I just think they're the better team here. But I think it could be. Give me Rams by 10 there. So 1 p.m. on CBS, you have the Miami Dolphins coming from a tough loss against the Chargers in Cleveland against the Browns. Browns 2.5 point favorites in this one. Bob, what do you think? We're supposed to have rain.
Yeah, but if they can't win this one, they ain't going to win another game. I'm going to take Cleveland. But if they can't win this game, they're not winning another game the rest of the season.
13-10, give me the Cleveland Browns here. Miami is an internal mess. Their quarterback just threw the whole team under the bus in their recent press conference. They're at each other. Cleveland's not at each other's throats. The fans have a problem with the front office and the coach, but Cleveland's not at each other's throats. I think that's going to be the edge in the game. I think defense plays overall well.
You got Cleveland also. You got Myles Garrett's getting pissed.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett's getting pissed.
He'll take it out on Tua on this game, I think, there. Yeah, Myles is getting upset, but I am taking Cleveland, though, too, as well. 1 p.m. on Fox, New Orleans Saints coming off a loss against the New England Patriots, and they'll take on the Bears, who we don't know the result of tonight's game yet. Chicago is 5.5 point favorites here, Bob. What do you think?
I'm going to take the Bears.
I'm taking the Bears, too. They're just the better team. New Orleans is going to be a top 3 draft pick here.
The Bears.
1 p.m. on CBS, you have the Las Vegas Raiders coming off a win against the Tennessee Titans. They're at the Kansas City Chiefs, who played a great game against the Lions last night and won. And I was shocked to see how well they played. Kansas City is 11.5 point favorites. Bob, what do you think?
I got to go with KC.
I'm going with KC, too. I think Vegas is a top 5 pick this year in the draft. I think in the way Kansas City played last night, I think they're getting their spunk back. 1 p.m. on Fox, you have the Philadelphia Eagles coming off a bad loss against the Giants on last Thursday night. They are taking on the Minnesota Vikings, who are coming off a bye week. And sorry, I lost my place there. Philly's 2.5-point favorites there. Bob, what do you think?
Philly ain't going to have another bad week. I'll take Philly.
I agree with you. Give me Philly, and I'll have Philly winning by 10. I think it'll be a close game. 1 p.m. on Fox, you have the Carolina Panthers with coming off a win against the Dallas Cowboys. They're playing well in it. Versus the winless New York Jets. Carolina's a 1.5-point favorites. What do you think?
I'm going to give the Jets their first win.
He's giving Jets their first win. Give me Carolina. I like the way they're playing lately. Justin Fields did not play very well in London. I think Jets have a quarterback problem. Give me Carolina by 7 there. I think it'll be close. 1 p.m. on CBS. New England Patriots coming off a win there against the Tennessee Titans, who are having an interim coach now. And we're in Tennessee. New England 7-point favorites. What do you think, Bob?
Give me the Patriots.
I love what Vrabel's doing in New England right now. Give me the Patriots by 13. 4:05 p.m. on CBS, you have the New York Giants at the Denver Broncos. Broncos 6.5 favorites. Giants coming off a win. Broncos coming off a win. And potentially Russell Wilson starting because of concussion protocol with Jackson Dart. We'll see about that. Bob, what do you think?
I'm going Denver.
I'm going Denver. We're at Denver. Denver's playing overall good ball. I will say 3-point game, though. I think Giants are going to play them tough. 4:05 p.m. on CBS. Indianapolis Colts in Los Angeles playing the Chargers. Both teams coming off a win. Chargers 1.5 favorites here.
I'm going to go with the Chargers since it's in L.A.
Okay. I agree. I'm going with Chargers by 3. 4:25 p.m. on Fox. Green Bay Packers coming off a win against the Cincinnati Bengals, playing the Arizona Cardinals, who lost to the Colts last week, but Jacoby Brissett played very well. What do you think? We're in Arizona, Green Bay 6.5 favorites.
Yeah, I'll go Green Bay.
I'm going Green Bay as well. They're just a better team. Arizona's fallen off the map a little bit. I thought they'd be doing better at this time. 4:25 p.m. on Fox. Washington, we don't know the result of their game tonight. They'll be at Dallas for a big rival matchup. Washington's 2.5-point favorites. Bob, what do you think?
I'm gonna go with Dallas.
He's going Dallas.
I'm going Dallas here.
Give me Washington by 3. This is going to be a good game.
It's gonna be good. I'm taking Dallas because they're home.
Right. I think Washington's defense is a little better. I think that they'll edge them out here, but this could be your game of the week there. 8:20 p.m. NBC waiting all day for a Sunday night. Atlanta Falcons at the San Francisco 49ers. We don't know who will be under center for the 49ers. We don't know the result to the Atlanta game tonight. 49ers did lose to Baker Mayfield this past weekend. Do they lose again? They're 3-point favorites, Bob.
No.
Sunday night.
They don't lose again.
They beat Atlanta.
They beat Atlanta.
They beat Atlanta. Give me 49ers by 17. I'm feeling good. I think they'll beat up Atlanta. Monday, October 20th, we have a doubleheader, 7 p.m. at ABC. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield versus the Detroit Lions, Jared Goff. The Lions are 4.5-point favorites. Bob, what do you think?
Where's this game at?
This is in Detroit.
I'll take the Lions. I know it is gonna be a good one.
Yeah. Give me Lions by 3.
It's gonna be a good one.
This is gonna be a very good one. These two teams want to beat each other badly.
I would have took Tampa Bay if it was in Tampa Bay.
Bay's got some key injuries. I think that's going to affect them in this one. It's going to be, I'm going to Lions by 3. 10 p.m., real quick, last one, 10 p.m. on ESPN. Houston Texans coming off a bye week against the red-hot Seattle Seahawks. I say red-hot because they're playing well. They did just win only one game this past week, obviously. They're not on a big streak or anything. Seattle's 3.5-point favorites. Bob, what do you think?
Seattle.
I'm going Seattle, too. I just think they're a better overall team here. Give me Seattle by 7 there. All right. We went a little bit over. That's okay. High school game of the week. St. Thomas Aquinas at Mogador. Make sure you tune in. 6:45 p.m. this Friday is pregame. And then 7 p.m. is kickoff. We'll talk next week. Our Cleveland Cavaliers, who went winless in the preseason. It's okay. It's only preseason. They played a lot of the benchies. They will tip off the regular season next week. We'll talk about that next week. We'll talk about the NL and AL championship series. We'll talk about the Browns. We have to. We'll talk about the Zips and the Buckeyes. All that fun stuff. We got to get going, though, Bob. So without further ado, be nice to each other. Be good to each other. Pick some nice pumpkins this weekend. And with that all being said, go Buckeyes.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks. The only team we can rely on. Have a good one. Be safe, guys.